Okay. Here we are in Let's Go Help 2. There's been some new activities, so I just click that button and it'll show whatever has happened since I was last on this page. And for today's session, we're going to jump into a resource that I was provided from Robin Sadlier, who is the Utah Beginning Farmer and Rancher Coordinator. It is a beautiful resource, and I'm really happy about having been provided the tools that come with this particular resource. So this is going to be a couple of different things. There's a lot of great opportunities for those who are interested in agriculture and pursuing especially a business within agriculture, but there is the regular occurrence of more towards what we would call personal grants. There are home loans through farmer and rancher resources. There is a possibility that I'm going to get my sprinkler system, which is, yes, technically an irrigation system. Just we don't think about sprinklers as irrigation because they're generally in big agricultural properties where we use that terminology. But I think it's possible that I may get to have a 75% reimbursement or something like that for my sprinklers, where I wasn't able to the way I had thought with getting all these structures dug in that I've done. That's another opportunity to check out. We always continue to look for other opportunities. And it's not that I may not sometime come across an opportunity that will pay me back for putting in these structures, or actually my parents at this point, so that I could pay my parents what they've already paid for. They were so generous. That's part of that community, right? We always talk about community in here in Let's Go Help 2 and networking. And a part of an agricultural pursuit is generally to touch within the community that you're in physically as well. And that can, of course, include your friends and family when we're trying to accomplish all of these different things. So all of that is a part of what I'm doing here and what we're doing here as collectively Rewilding, trying to get all of this garden in for not only our personal use, but also as my business. So this resource has been built over the last 6 months. The Utah State University Extension, which has one of the SBDC branches that I worked with initially. That's when I worked with Matthias Miller when I was over in Taylorsville. And this is something that is going to be tremendously useful for all of us. Though it is from Utah, the majority of resources that they have directed me to so far as I've been working through this are going to be applicable to the nation. Okay, so when we're trying to do something like this and approach these resources, that's the one skill that we're going to deal with, working with these resources. The other skill that we're going to work on today is keeping track of our history of our search so that we're more in control, so that we can look at a resource on a page. As you see, there's already 8 buttons here that are filled with resources. And each one of those buttons is going to take us to a page that's also filled with resources. And then those pages are going to start to take us outside of this website into resources outside of this particular website. So I'm going to walk you through how to keep track of that type of a search so that you can get back to every different page with all of those different opportunities as you go through checking out individual pieces. So here we are on our initial page. I will also keep track of that as a document, all right, and post it in class. I'm going to put this into the Country Living and Business unit because the resources that I'm going to put together are laid out in a step-by-step fashion, and they are beautifully put together. It's very comparable to what Julia Maya is doing for our community here in Let's Go Help 2, putting everything into such great organization, user-friendly step-by-step guides. This is much the same as what we're seeing over here in this website created by the Utah University, State University, excuse me. Oh my gosh, I could not wrap my tongue around that, right? So first we have the, oops, wrong thing. I must not have grabbed that link. Let me grab that really quickly. And that's going to be our home search page. We'll get a title for it. And we'll also have just the link so that no matter what, everybody can make use of it. Okay, Now we're going to start tearing in. This is where everything is. It's just these nice little buttons that are the same as down here. We're not missing out on anything. We're going to go into these nicely, how shall we say it, like they have nice little icons that are a little bit informative and very encouraging. I really like that with what Julia May is building into our community as Lesko Help too, these similar style of icons. I think that they're very clear, very clean, and they do have a little bit of explanation about what they're going to be covering. All right, brainstorm. We've got not only the light bulb like an idea, but inside the light bulb a little brain. Going to brainstorm. Instead of regular or left clicking, I'm going to right click and I'm going to open link in new tab. Now, if I were to do this on my computer, or excuse me, on my phone, because I want you to be able to do this on your phones, for those of you who don't have or are more comfortable on your phones, don't want to use laptops, computers, whatever your case may be, you're going to come onto your phone. You may not use Google Docs, especially if you have an Apple. You need to get into your Docs, whatever those are. You can download Google Docs as an app on an Apple phone. I'm going to go into my apps there. I'm going to pull up my Google Docs, and oops, I'm going over towards the camera picture, like that's where it's supposed to be. There's your little Google Docs app. And then I'm going to create a new document. Okay, I didn't. There we go. You have your new document. And I'm going to just type this up really quickly here. I didn't think to get it all transferred over. extension.usu.edu/new farmers. I believe it's pluralized. Yes, ranchers. New farmers, ranchers. / And then let's look at what it says in the very beginning of the website. Okay, no www, just https://extension.edu and all the things we said there. Okay, once you've got it typed up, it's in black text. You want to put a space or an enter or something, and that's going to turn it into that actual link. All right. Then again, you can hold that there, but it doesn't give you the opportunity to create a chip here. You just need to leave it as a link, and then you'd hit enter, enter, so that you'd be ready for your next line. So then what I want to do is I'm going to click this so you can see the website on my phone. And it's open with Google Chrome. Now here I am, and I have this website pulled up. I'm going to hit the brainstorm. I can't right click, open link in new tab. So I'm going to open up brainstorm. And then at the top of an Android, I don't know for an Apple, I do apologize. There'll be a little box that has numbers or a little big mouth happy face. Click that and you'll see the different tabs that you've had up. This is the one that we're on. Brainstorm. It doesn't work for this. Okay, so then what you would do is, if it didn't hold my previous tab because it's internal. So then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click my browser and I'm going to do the copy, the little box with the shadow. Okay, I've copied it. Yep, and it shows me that I've copied it. Now go back and I'm going to actually go back to the previous page to where we were. Then I'm going to hit the plus sign. Let me get it there. And I'm going to, no, that's not what I wanted. I hit the plus sign. I got this here. Excuse me. I'm going to click my new browser on my new tab, and then I'm going to go paste that website off of my clipboard, and then I'm going to hit the go button or the arrow. Okay, and now I have that. Now, when I click my little happy face button, I have both of them. That's how you can keep track of your search on a phone. Then if I want to have my document built, again, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click my browser. I'm going to hit that copy link, which I already did. Then I'm going to go to my document. I've got it there, and I'm going to hit my clipboard because I already used the link, and I'm going to hit my link that pastes it up here. I want to go back to my regular keyboard, hit space, so it turns it into a link. And now I have the first and second steps of my journey on a document. All right, so that's how you would do it on a phone and how you do it on a computer. Does anybody have any question about where we are right now on how they would keep track of their search? It gets a little complicated on a phone. That's why a laptop or a computer are really helpful. And if you don't have access to one, I encourage you, of course, to enter Matthew Lesko's Lesko Computer Laptop giveaway that he has recurring every month. And it just started up a new one yesterday, right? Let me look at my previous. Yes, yesterday was the 31st, and it ends on the 30th of each month. So a new Lesko laptop computer giveaway was put out yesterday. No questions, folks? Everybody's following along? I would really rather answer your questions than leave you confused, okay? And then Christian Channel Worldwide, you ask, is there a link to get to this page? Which page are you talking about? Are you talking about? Go ahead.
The page with all the links at the top. The tops are well, yeah, but there's a bunch more. Yes, is there a link or a place to get to that?
There is, and when I share this video, and I do share these really quickly because they don't go in with the rest of ours, and it can get confusing. So I just go ahead and share these little quick ones that I do. And we are working on getting the outdated replays updated, folks. We have another staff member that is working on getting that done. So I'm not doing that anymore. So look for those to start coming in any day now. Amber Littlefield will be posting those, but this one will go out most likely today. I am really busy. I may not be able to. When it goes out, it will have all of this information. And this first link is that homepage where we come and look into these. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
And are you following me on how you would do this for yourself if you came across a website that had this many opportunities that you wanted to check out? Are you following along on how you would go?
I'm following along, just trying to take it in. So that's why if I had the link, it'd be a little better. But I'm gonna try to go piece by piece.
Even if people aren't interested in farming and ranching or business, because this will work for businesses outside of the agricultural world, doing what and I'm sorry, what should we call you? I doubt you go by Christian Channel Worldwide.
That's actually my name is Jason. That's just because it's connected to YouTube. That's just the name of my YouTube channel. But
Absolutely.
Jason is my name.
Jason, okay. So what Jason said there, that he's going to pull this website up and then he's going to walk through the process of doing what I'm doing. That is a really good idea, even if nobody, or even if someone's not interested in business or agriculture. Doing that just to get that step by step is a great idea, Jason. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so we're not going to pull up these next steps yet. We'll get to that point, and I'm not going to work through all of them with you. I want you to have access to these resources because, as I said, they'll work for business, especially agricultural business, and some rural living type opportunities as well. So everybody can go through this document. Oh, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, we're not going to work these steps. We're going to show the opportunities that are on the steps. I'm going to add them to the document, and then we can always work these in an open-ended question session or on my country living and business when you guys have had time to watch this video again, work through the steps yourselves, check out the different websites, and we can go more deeply into each of these sources, as I believe we will be during my country living and business classes for a little bit. There's some amazing resources that start with this one page right here. All right, so we're going to go to the page that we pulled up with our right-click, open link in new tab. This is the Brainstorm website or page that starts off our little journey with all those pretty little icons. Now, when you come in here, there are already additional links, and these are going to take you out of the extension.usu.edu website. However, these have been vetted by a very well-recognized university that will direct you to safe websites I can't promise that some of them won't be .coms trying to sell you something, so do be aware of that, but generally that's not what I'm seeing. However, I didn't build this for you, so I didn't have control of what the resources are, but they're very good resources. All right, so then we're going to follow the same process. And what I'm actually going to do is add these all to one group. So let's go ahead and do that so that we see it right away. When you're on a computer and you're using Google Chrome, you can click your tab and you can add tab to group. We're going to add tab to new group. And this is going to be called, because this is how I keep track of what different tabs, if I have to close everything down, go where. This is going to be the initial resource called Coach. I had another one that I'd already built here that I was calling coordinators, but this is going to provide a step-by-step in a little bit of a different way that's going to be even more beneficial. And then I'm going to take this tab and I'm going to add it into this pink tab here by just grabbing a hold of it with my regular left click, holding down and sliding it until it hits the line. Let me walk you through that again. Here it is. It's not in the line. I click it with my regular left click. I hold that left click and I slide it under the line. Okay, so then I'm going to close that and pull it out, and we're going to work from here going forward so that you can see how I can build multiple searches within searches for those of you who really like to get deep into the research. Now, I'm on the first step, the brainstorm step, and I'm going to pull up each of these links. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to open link in new tab, and it's going to open them in the order that I did behind the tab I'm currently working on. So ahead of or behind, however you look at that, going to the right, going to the right, going to the right. That is the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, How to Start a Farm. I have worked with this website. This is much like this website here, but it doesn't take you as far. Let me just show you what I mean. It has all of these great options on it that I've torn through before and shown you guys and torn through with you a little bit. Now we're going to go back to our other page because we have 3 other links that we're going to pull up. So I'm going to right click, open link in new tab. You see it pulls it up behind or after the first link we pulled up from this page. The U.S. Department of Agriculture and Food, this is not one that I've torn through a lot. It has information geared towards Utah Agriculture and Food. So this one's a little more specific than the other 3. This one is Utah, and I haven't even torn through it, but we're walking through the steps right now more than anything. Okay, then we're going to get the U.S. Small Business Administration Planning link. We're going to right click, open link in new tab. We have 3 open now from this particular page, and this one itself came from our first home search website page. Now, for myself, I didn't pull this link up last night because I'm already working with an SBDC mentor. I've worked with 2. I'm working with my second, Matthias Miller, over in Taylorsville at the USU Extension. And now I'm working with Jess Clifford here in Tooele. Both amazing, amazing resources. They have just been so amazing to work with in general. All right, so that's our 3rd link. And then we have this pre-business plan sketchbook, also new to me. Right click, open link in new tab. Now I have all of the brainstorm pieces behind here, okay? Then I can jump into my initial homepage and do the same thing with the learn. I'm gonna right click, open link in new tab. And as you see now, because we've interacted with this one, it didn't pull it up behind the first one because now it just recognizes this is a whole different level of search. So it's right here, but I like to keep my searches in order. So I'm going to take my tab and I'm going to go all the way past all of the links. Oops, my mouse pad messed me up a bit there. Oh, and I still want it in my pink line. Okay, this is a step-by-step order then. My home page, my first page that I pulled up, and all the resources I got from it. Now this is my second web page from our initial home website. And then it's going to have these additional resources on it, okay? These are going to be what will pull up behind the secondary tab. That's when it's going to start getting a little bit untenable though. So I'm going to instead right click my brainstorm, my first page pulled off of our home website, And I'm going to add tab to group, and I'm going to start a new group, and I will call this one brain. We want to keep it small. We're working with a lot of different pieces. So we'll call it brain, or no, let's call it idea. That's more descriptive. Idea and shorter. And then I have to color that group the color I want it. And then I am going to move this. I'm going to grab with my regular left click and hold on the idea tab. I didn't do it. Let's do it again. Regular click, hold, and I'm going to pull it back to, oh, I didn't want to go where I wanted it. Oh, because it doesn't want to break these up. Okay, so then I'm going to take this website that was, no, I'm going to take, oh, now I've gotten myself confused. No, I'm going to take this. This is the first one we pulled up from the brainstorm, and I'm going to move it over all of those that we pulled up from the brainstorm. There were 4, and close this tab. Now, this is my secondary step. So I'm going to pull that out and separate it, and I'm going to take my purple tab and put it behind my pink tab because my home website is here. This is my first step. This is my second step. Now I'm going to right click and I'm going to add this tab to a group, new group, and I will go with my blue tab and I'm going to call this learn, just as they have. Enter. Now I'm going to go through the same process. Now it's in a tab. Watch what happens now, folks. I'm going to right click, open link in new tab, and it pulls it up. Should be in my, yes, in my blue line. You see that? Okay, now I'm going to go to the Utah State University Extension resources. I'm going to click that. I'm going to open link in new tab. Then I'm going to go to this more nationwide resource, sustainable agriculture, research and education. That's where I need to be. Just now, I've been looking for this for like 6 months. I've called multiple experts within the USDA, and nobody knows where to tell me to go. That's why Matthew says we can educate these people as well, while taking the education that they already have and making use of that as the experts that they are, right? So it's not a one up. I'm not trying to be like, look, I know your stuff better than you. It's like, oh my goodness, you guys, you know, I've been asking you. I just knew there was some branch out there that would handle what I'm trying to do. This is the one that I'm going to try next. And then they have an additional piece that maybe they can help someone else that's doing something more like what I'm doing. They can direct them more adequately the next time they come across someone with that kind of question. So the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Outreach Publications. Ooh, how exciting. I'm going to right click, open link in new tab. It's going to pull up in my blue line as the third resource from this specific web page. We have more. We have the National Center for Appropriate Technology. Right click, open link in new tab. Edible Alpha Learning Center, Food Finance Institute. Interesting. Right click, open link in new tab. Land Stewardship Project. Interesting. This one also may have some use for my endeavors. Future generations, stewardship-minded farmers, successfully established. We're going to right click, open link in new tab. Agriculture safety education, absolutely something I need. I've already had a follower tell me, okay, great, you did call before you dig, but you didn't say anywhere in your video to put call before you dig. And so I'm going to create a post and attach it to that video because that's really important. And just because I know that safety step doesn't mean somebody who's watching what I'm doing knows that safety step. So this one will be very useful for me. And I hope for many of the other people who are watching or who watch this later. Agricultural safety education, open link in new tab. Resources for small farms. Of course, that's going to be beneficial. Right click, open link in new tab. Fresh produce resources, information and downloadable fact sheets on fruit vegetable production, season extension, and cut flower production, which is something I know nothing about. But if I have my own flowers that are going to keep growing flowers, I won't feel as bad about maybe having some cut flowers in the house. I won't look at them quite as like being given a bundle of dead flowers. So fresh produce resources, click, open link in new tab, right click, crop resources, again, fact sheets about crop planting, harvesting, tillage, irrigation, pest weeds, and more. Right click, open link in new tab, and our final resource on this website page, Utah State University College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences. Right click, open link in new tab, and now I can close this tab, and I have all of that, but it's not this huge mess that I have to look at until I'm ready, right? Then if I try to close this, you'll see it's going to add a new tab. It wants something to hold the place. And so you have all three of those pieces in such a small area, and you don't even have to look at it if you don't want to. Then we would go back to our new farmer and rancher resources page, our initial home page. We would right-click plan, open link in new tab. It's going to pull it up in the pink, but we don't want it in the pink. We want it past our blue. We would then take our plan. We would right-click, add tab to group, new group, pick our color, name is still great, what they've got, plan, and then we have the ability to start pulling the resources off of this page. And I'm going to walk through all of this, and I'm going to put it together in that document. Let me go grab that, actually. No, wrong page. Hold on 2 seconds, guys. I know I had a doc open somewhere. Oh, I know. Okay, let's go here and grab our doc, minimize this. Then I'm going to take this and add it right after my new tab that'll hold spaces whenever I don't want them open. I'm going to take each of these, and when it's something that's Utah specific, wherever I can find something that's more national, I will put that in as well as the one from Utah. Some of the states have some really great information out there. Utah in the agricultural world, Maryland, Illinois, I see a lot. There's some of them that have some really, really good pieces that are useful beyond their own state. And so this is one of them. Utah does really care about their agriculture, and they've put some serious time into making these resources useful for us. And so sometimes you'll see those states because they are so good and so prolific. Michigan is another one I see a lot of. Okay, so some of it I may leave as Utah. Anywhere I can, I will add national, and a lot of this is already national, and I'm going to put that into a document built in much the same way. So I'm going to put new farmer and rancher resource guide. That's our overall premise here, and I'm going to turn that into my title. And then I like it to be a little bit smaller than they offer. I like it bold. And then we click Untitled Document here. It's going to title my document for us. Then this is going to become the overall guide. I will work on these tabs. Megan did a document for you guys that's really beautiful, and she used the tabs. But for now, let's stick with what I can quickly and easily do for you. Again, I like to make it quite a bit smaller there. And that's going to show up over here, but I really only need this first one to show up as the link. Then we're going to go to our next resource, and that one will be a smaller heading. That's when I will come to our idea tab. This will be the initial heading for the idea tab in our document. I'll add the title as well as the overall. Let's actually do this. Let's enter this smaller, put that there, here, keeping it more concise. This is heading 2. Now we're going to come into this and we're going to hit a tab. I'm going to put a little bullet point on here for you. Then I'm going to pull up each of these websites and add that underneath their overall tab, right? Then shift enter, add that again, and get your titling here. And that's how I'm going to create a document that even in the actual layout of the document does some guidance to helping me remember what is what. All right, so I will probably add here idea and make this the same color as the tab so that it is, again, visually instructive. And everything under here will be from the purple tab. All right. Really good information, guys. Again, this is useful for business, rural, personal, and agricultural all around. Any questions about, as well as just being good to follow through the idea of how to track something? Any questions about this process? Any questions about the resources? Anything that I can do to make this system more useful or understandable, user-friendly for you? Anything at all?
I'm excited about the business plan helper.
Excellent. It really is an excellent piece for following that step by step. So if you go into this area, which again, I worked with before, you would follow through on that. You would right click, open link in your tab, and you jump in here. Now this has links where you can jump to each of these parts of the page, but just start through working it. And when you get to this point, it's going to give you questions to answer about your business to help you put that plan together. And so if you're not in the agricultural world, instead of what products do you produce as like vegetables, do you physically have a product that you're selling? Do you make it, or do you purchase it and you're a middleman and you sell it? It can lead you to different questions, right? Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, excellent. Any other questions, folks? This is a relatively small class. Please feel free. Shout out questions. Just unmute yourselves if you have any questions about the process that we just went through, or any of the resources that we've touched on, anything we talked about, anyone at all. We have, I believe, did I schedule this from 3:15? We have about 10 minutes left of class. I'd love to answer anybody's questions about what we just did. It does get a little bit complicated, but I promise if you utilize it a few times, you'll see that it's not that complicated once you understand the process of moving and tracking it on a computer or a laptop. Again, a phone, it is a little more difficult, but you can do it. You would do the same basic thing and keep track on your document. Just put in that tab or that bullet list and go back to it each time. If you look on my phone, because we were working on this, I have both my docs pulled up and the website that I'm dealing with here, so that I can, or my browser, right? I have my browser right there, and I have the doc right there. And it's trying to hide on me, but there you go. There you can see it. The information is right there for me to click back and forth between. So it's a little more trying, even not so much more complicated. It's just a little more frustrating to get used to, but it can be done even on a phone. All right, guys, nothing. We're pretty much at the end of class. I feel like I really gave you some material that you can utilize to help yourself. How about this? Does everybody understand how keeping track of your search like this would be helpful? Any thoughts on that?
I can see organization really helping us to get what we need to get to, and then while we're waiting, we can work on other things. So eventually, maybe every day something's happening. So I'm excited about.
Very good, Jason. Are you in the agricultural or business or both?
Well, the part of business I want to open up, it has something to do with greenhouse, to help people who are wants to come out of medications and get more on natural healing. So yes.
The Natural Resources Conservation Center has a program that's very easy to access for high tunnel greenhouses. They won't work in my area. They'll be shredded like that, because that's basically a tunnel building, right? You see them with plastic sheeting or metal. They'll be like a half circle kind of a building. And then they put plastic sheeting on that. And if you're in an area where it's not going to get torn to shreds in less than a season, you can get a high tunnel very readily through your Natural Resources Conservation Service.
That'll be great.
And that will be in this information. You will also, what is your state, if you don't mind my asking, Jason?
I'm in Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan has a lot of good farming and agricultural information. Okay, so undo my caps box, Michigan, NRCS, boom, Michigan Natural Resources Conservation Service. I'm going to copy that link address and throw that into Lesko Help 2 for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's someplace that you can reach out to right away and start doing, start talking to them about what you might need to do in order to get ready. If you're already ready, then filling out for the contract. Colleen Cormier, one of our members, walked through this process in the last few months, and at least for her state, she had to sign a contract.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's where you talk to your individual state, because each individual state that even has a program that's out there across the state will implement it a little differently, call it a little bit of a different type of technological terminology and things like that, right? So you just want to get to know these contacts and talk to them and tell them what you're doing and utilize the programs that they have available at the time, all these great, good pieces. And what is your last name, Jason, so I can tag you?
Ridgeway, Ridgeway.
Oh, there you are. I've seen you around. I recognize your profile pic. I've only
Thank
seen you once
you.
or twice, but yeah, I've seen you out there. All right. Now I'll provide that link. That'll take you right to the NRCS that literally has a program right now that may possibly work for what you're wanting to do.
Great.
There we go. Now, if you are a religious institution, you have to be aware there's sometimes limitations. You should be able to, and this is where you should talk to Megan P. She comes every Thursday to talk about nonprofits specifically the most. She also does for-profit and then kind of the overall grant world, but she really specializes in the nonprofit world and can probably talk to you about the religious element of that as well, because it does add an entire new layer to nonprofit. It's not exactly even called a nonprofit, although it's very comparable, and you may see that terminology in it sometimes or not in it. It has different opportunities and some additional restrictions. So talk to Megan about that. But
Okay.
you may want to, if you are a nonprofit or a religious institution exclusively, you may want to consider creating a for-profit that goes with what you're already doing that will open you up to additional opportunities that will be closed down sometimes too, especially a religious nonprofit.
Yeah, I have my DBA set up as religious, and my corporation LLC are not. So I'm good.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. And so there is something that you can go and do tomorrow,
Right away.
as you know, pretty late on your side of the country there. But yeah, definitely very wonderful. Quick question: are you comfortable getting into Lesko Help 2 and your notification bell, Jason, to get that?
Yes, I can get into Lesko too. Yes, I can. Thank you.
And the notification bell. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where I'm circling up here in the upper right
Right.
hand
It's like where you get messages. Yes, that bell. Yes.
Okay, so you want to just click that, and it'll say Sabrina Giesler, Jason Ridgeway, HTTP, and
Hmm.
it'll start trailing off, something like that, possibly. There's a couple of different ways it might
Right.
display it, but just look for Sabrina with that heart or Sabrina Giesler and
Okay.
something in the recent timeline. This is a timeline order. It keeps it back to about a month. The most recent is at
Okay.
the top, and it's everything that would include you, as well as all of the general communications we send out to all of our members. This is not like a Facebook timeline where it picks and chooses and it's all messy. This is very, very organized itself in a timeline fashion with everything that included you throughout the last month. Okay?
Great.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't see any other questions in the chat, everyone, and nobody has their hand raised. It is time to go ahead and shut this little quick session down. I really do hope that you saw the benefit of what you can get back to. That is a big part of it. There were so many resources on each one of those pages. Many of them will have additional resources up at the top as we leave the USU extension. So there's so much going on in many of those pages that you want to be able to go back at any time and check out the opportunities that are on that page, as well as follow anything through to its endpoint so that you can clearly understand whether that's something that you want to try for, apply for, qualify for, and still, like Jason said, having all these other opportunities along the way that you can work on once you've gotten to the endpoint on any individual topic that you followed, right? All right, everybody. We do have another class. It's my open-ended question session, the last one that I have left, starting up in half an hour. That's going to be at 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Mountain, 5:30 p.m. Central, and 6:30 p.m. Central, the Lesko Basics with Sabrina. Hope to see you all there. Hope you benefited from the pieces that we covered today, and have a wonderful evening, everyone. Please feel free to unmute your mics and say goodnight. All right, we had a pretty quiet
Good
crowd
night,
today.
everybody.
Good night, Jason. Nice to work with you. Thank you for providing the additional depth through your questions.
Not a problem.
All right.
All right, you have a great day.
Thank you, Jason.
All right.
Well.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.